your name there says perennial second placer, which is actually where I was going to start because you almost swept all four, but Phoenix, something happened, which we could talk about. But
Yeah.
by the way, as a person in the media, I feel it's my duty to correct what folks are trying to say with Joanna. Joanna swept the majors. It's not a grand
Yes.
slam. Grand slam is something else. And
What? Oh, what is a Grand Slam?
well,
I
I
don't
would
know what
be
that is.
okay with all the majors and the world champs. I would call that the grand slam. She
Okay.
swept the majors because now what's left? What's left now? If she does win, and there's a very good chance she might, right? She's certainly a favorite. Now what do we say? They spoke too soon, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think also she didn't race APAC regions.
Oh, well, there you go. There you
I,
go.
I I think you have that part. Like she didn't
I
race
forgot
APAC
that.
regionals.
I forgot that too. By the way,
Yeah.
listen, we're gonna get the hate from the Aussies and the New Zealanders. Joanna is a fucking beast. There's two, maybe three women that can win it, and she's looking like the favorite.
No, we got
So,
somebody butting in right now.
what's going
Who
on,
also
buddy?
say, hey, all right, hey, can you go down? Can you go back downstairs? Sorry,
First of all, I applaud you on having a Roku TV, the greatest televisions that exist.
dude. All right, do you want to see? Hold on, we're gonna come back around to Joanna. Do you want to see something crazy? All right, look at this TV right here.
Yes,
Okay, my wife just found it by a dumpster.
that's
She
the
found it. She found it by a dumpster in the rain. She's like, "There's no way this thing works." Brought it in, works perfect.
technology is so cheap now that you'd rather just. So I had a television to sell because
Yeah.
we just upgraded. We have a bunch of Rokus in the house. We have a bunch of kids, bunch of TVs,
Yep.
and they're really inexpensive. And we went non-Roku for this one in our bedroom, and we regretted it constantly because first of all, if you lose the remote to one, you can use it for
Game
the
over.
others. That's an advantage. And
Yeah.
so I put it on Facebook Marketplace for $100. I'm like, if this thing doesn't sell for 24 hours, I'm putting it by the curb.
That wasn't a wrong call. I'm literally having to run from my 3-year-old right now because I told Maria I was like I got an interview to do and now
Well,
he is
that
just terrorizing me.
right. Well, that angle wasn't ideal. We were kind of looking up your
No,
drawers there, so
did
that angle
you?
wasn't ideal either.
You wouldn't see anything. Don't worry about it. Will you corral this man, please, so that I can talk to Matt? Thank you. I appreciate it. Um,
So, so again, like you gotta consult the experts here before we. I forgot she didn't even race APAC. So yeah, guys,
yeah,
let's. So she didn't sweep the majors. She swept. She won 3 majors, right? Or
she
4.
won. No, she won 4 majors. She won every. If she won every single major, didn't
Yeah.
race APAC, and then hasn't raced World Championships yet, so we don't really have a result from that. Again, like I don't know why anybody would even take that though as like a dig or like be
But
like
they
they're
will.
not
But
talking
they
well about
listen. I've
Joanna.
done this long enough that God forbid I say anything that isn't everyone's the best, and they get mad at me. So
Hey, Matt, hold on. We're gonna pause this interview. Like
totally
this is
fine.
we're gonna pause this interview. Pause everything. We're gonna come back to this because this is ridiculous. Give me 2 seconds.
I have so much patience for this. I have 3 children, and
Thank you very much. I'm gonna put things down. I'm coming right back.
when they were very young to about 12, this would be a constant battle. Like you think it's over when they're little. It's not. It's dad, it's yelling, it's we need stuff. So yeah, listen, I know you guys are gonna come after me anyway. So I'm just gonna say it. Like come on, dude. We're not taking away from what you did, but let's name things properly. We have a sport, we're trying to grow the sport. We got to name things properly. And I don't know what you're going to say if she wins the world champs when you kept calling it a grand slam. And again, I forgot she skipped one. So if you're going to do them all, you got to do them all. So now I can't even say you swept them all. I can say you won 4 of the 5 you were eligible to run, which is, we'll come up with something.
We're back.
So what should we have called it, Dylan? What should we call it if someone does this next year? Since people, people got
I
ahead
mean
of
I think
themselves.
I think you just call it sweep in the majors.
Right.
I
But
think
then,
that's it.
but if you skip one, then you didn't.
No, well
You won 4 out of 5.
maybe we just call it you're really good. Maybe we just say that. Maybe we just say that you were really, really good this year.
Right. Um. Let's flip your shirt around. Let's see if I can do this. There you go.
Yeah.
Winning starts with training.
Yeah.
Swoosh.
Swoosh.
So
Nike training, baby.
So real quick, I know you don't have a ton of time. So before I forget, I keep refreshing to see my American feed to see who's on the relay team. I think you're one of them. So since this won't come out until it's announced, which I assume is in minutes,
Hmm.
maybe you're gonna hit publish as soon as this is over. Can you let us know?
I know who I think is on it. Like I know who's supposed to be on it based on like the acceptance and all that kind of stuff. And right now it's supposed to be me, Lauren, Jack, and Kat Fassbender.
Okay.
Um,
And how is that determined?
the points rankings. So they're doing everything off of points rankings this year,
So
the same
just
way.
so next year's points start now.
It's a rolling 12-month thing. So like the points have been playing into like the next major next year, whenever it is, in like late September, early October. So every race that has happened from basically October 1st of 2025 is going to play into next year. And then it's just going to be on a rolling thing. So once we get to November of 2026, nothing that happened in October matters. And once we get
Gotcha.
to December, nothing. And so what was going on for picking the relay teams this year is you had to have like a certain number of races to meet the race criteria, which I think was five. And it was by April 1st. And then on April 1st was when they sent out all of the emails to say like, hey, you are, from a points ranking perspective, you're going to be on the team. Do you accept the relay invitation? Um, honestly, I hate it. I hate it. I don't think that that's how the relay team should be picked at all. Um,
So I think once people understand the rules, they won't be surprised to hear Jack because they know he won a ton.
yeah,
Cat really quickly going down pro women, so not elite women, but just the pro women races, third, second, first, fourth, third, fifth. And then there was an elite in there where she was 11th. So even worse. So I'm kind of surprised. I would think maybe there might be someone else who would be
it
on
was due. It was due to the race frequency. A lot of people.
like not Vivian because
She didn't have enough races.
gotcha.
And yeah, so that was like it was not Vivian, she didn't have enough races, not Rich, she didn't have enough races, not Hunter, he didn't have enough races. Like none of the people that you might think would be on the US team outside of like Lauren and potentially me is kind of what the draw was. And I don't think like that, I don't even think Joanna's on the Australian team. Like,
Well, I think that'll explain it to folks then. If people freak out
yeah,
about us and then like, okay,
yeah, I mean, we like, I don't love this because I did like the structure in the past where you did have like a team captain and the team captain could reach out and try to create the best team, whether it was based on purely HYROX athletes or you could pull athletes from other areas. Because I mean, like we don't have the best lineup. Like our best lineup doesn't include me on it. Our best lineup theoretically, in my mind, based on who we have in the US right now, would be Lauren, Alyssa, Hunter, and Rich. Like that would probably be the fastest lineup that the
so
US could
Hunter and
pull
Rich
out.
are the fastest racers or the best HYROX racers?
They are probably the best people to put on the relay for their skill sets, I would say.
Well, I mean, you say that, and you finished second in three majors. So I mean,
Yeah, but there's a difference between like a 50-minute to 55-minute event and two 7-minute hard efforts.
right.
Like Rich would cook me up in those, and Hunter would cook me up in those, and two 7-minute hard efforts.
Well, I think if you're behind, have you thought about just kind of like if you get close to a dude, you just sort of put your shoulder into them and they go east into a wall? Because I feel like this year that we're a little looser with the rules, maybe. Sorry, I couldn't help
What's
myself.
no, what's funny is that in the when in the like group message that we have with the elite working group team, I made that same joke that like this year, they were talking about the Irish team. If the Irish team gets in, I was like, I hope they get in. Like I plan on trying to put one of them into the railings again. And the only problem is if I ran into Jeremy, he wouldn't move. Like it'd be like a mosquito headbutting an elephant. Like it's not gonna make much difference.
Um, Let me go back to Dylan Scott. Dylan Scott, do you know how many races you've run? Do you look at the old high result? Do you care?
I have an idea. There have been a couple of times where like my name was a different name than what it was,
Oh,
like Dylan Scott or whatever. Like that's happened before or something like
right.
that. I I think in all combined like 50 somewhere around
Yeah,
that.
it says 49 here.
Yeah,
You've had 17 partners. What a slut. Um,
yeah.
um, but yeah, sometimes those name things are wonky. Well, you were the guy that could finish first or 15th, right? You were that guy. And then you settled into like, actually, Dylan, we don't really see those anymore. So I know it's been a minute, but do we remember what happened back in Phoenix? That you returned
That
to a double digit.
that guy, that guy, he got me sick. Um, that's what happened in
We
Phoenix.
went back into double digits in the 12th.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened. Was as we were flying out there earlier in the week, he started coming down with some kind of cold, and I started getting it like once I got there, and then basically like the day of the race, I think my immune system was just fighting it, and I could feel that I was like, all right, something's off. Like my temperature was up, I was just kind of sweating, and like my heart rate was high. I was like, all right, this is kind of sucky timing for this. Raced, felt just drained. The kind of way you feel when you're a little bit sick. You just felt drained, like everything felt weak. Heart rate was just shooting up to the roof. And so I think what happened was it was just terrible timing with like an immune response to whatever he had. My body kind of fought it off. The next day, I felt like different. I felt better. Like every effort didn't feel horrible. And so I was able to have a good doubles race. And then I was able to race one more time and like feel good during that. But yeah, I think what happened there was just really bad timing in Phoenix. And I mean, because I knew I was fit. It's like, dude, I'm in great shape right now. My training was like, you're in great shape right now. You're gonna race fine. And I'll just go suck. Um, but then 2 days later, go 53 something and win. And so it's like, okay, clearly it was just that day, horrible timing for everything.
If timing mattered.
If timing mattered, yeah, of course. Luckily, unfortunately, it does a lot.
Well, I mean, but it won't as much.
No. I'm talking about timing of the day. Like,
Oh,
I don't mean times in like running a 57 or 53. I just mean it really does matter. Like on the day, are you clicking on all cylinders, like on all different levels, or are you just a touch off? Because if you're a touch off, you're gonna get obliterated in this field.
um, I do want to talk a little bit more about racing, but real quick, you mentioned the elite working group, which that phrase has come up in the rule book. There's an
Hmm.
elite working group, and then there's also like an elite, like a judging panel, and those are two different things. Can you tell me what the elite working group is?
So yeah, so the elite working group is like it is a combination of coaches and athletes, elite 15 athletes that there's certain criteria for the amount you've had to have raced and all that kind of stuff. And then there are coaches that are in there as well. And it's picked by vote from the elite 15 athletes. So you can have other athletes nominate you to be on there, and then it goes out and basically that group gets picked and is created up of I believe three athletes and two coaches, and they meet with Matt Locke and go over all of the like any rules issues that have come up, anything to do with like scheduling and stuff like that with regards to how do you make the life easier for like we that was one of the places where they cut down on how long the briefings were going to be and how you know um we brought up the petitions for like post race, like how are we going to have athletes like trying to call other athletes out and how bad that was for morale and all that kind of stuff and getting that changed away from the you can only petition if there's like unsportsmanlike conduct or something to that effect. So there are rule changes that get discussed there. There are like incentive structures, points. I think points came from the elite working group that all got built out there. I wasn't a part of that one. Um, but yeah, so there's that, and then I'm not sure what the judging thing is. Like, I'm not anything involved with that.
Do you think we'll see an official elite rule book rather than this thing that's been frustrating for us about the changes happen on the fly orally at meetings? Do you think we'll see an elite rule book next year?
I, f- I feel like yes. I feel like once the all season comes around and there's time to like really sit down and cement that, as opposed to being on this, strike through this, change that, strike through this, change that as we go. Um, I think it has to get to that point, to be honest. Um, to where you know going into every single race exactly what it is that you're dealing with rules wise. And the only thing that like could differ is you're just going to have slight differences in the venues and the layout of things, and that might change where like the throwaway area is for trash or something like that. Like that, those would be the only changes. But I think you'll have a consistent rule structure um, that gets implemented over the off season. I would hope.
So back to racing, I sent you a question, almost hypothetical, right? How are you going to catch this guy Ronco? And you gave me a very detailed answer. Now, I don't know if you want to release that publicly. I don't know if I'm not going to tell people my strategy guy, but you clearly had thought a lot about it. So, what would you like to say for those that are in the Dylan winning the world champs camp? Like, how are we going to catch that guy? What would you like to say about that?
Yeah, I think I'll say that like there is a path to beating him. Like he's not unbeatable. Nobody's unbeatable. Nobody's been unbeatable. And also again, like on the day, things can always swing in a certain direction. They've swung in my favor before, and they've swung completely against me. So I know that like that's how it is. Um, I have an idea of where I can close gaps at and where issues occurred like during the race, but I think I'm going to line up in Stockholm, and I was talking about this the other day with Steven, and I was saying like it's unfortunate because you don't want to be in this situation where you line up and go, I can execute my race 100% perfectly and still lose, and I have to go out there and like have to execute 100% perfectly plus have a few mistakes occur on the parts of Ronco, Tim, Hunter. I need all of them just to have like little bitty stumbles along the way, and I can beat them. But like that's kind of the scenario. I have to close these gaps early in the race and not let them get so expansive, and then I have to find a way to create some separation later. Um, and that'll just either I'll get there from the training over the next 6 weeks to be able to keep those gaps close early on, reconnect at the burpees, and then find some distance at some point, or I won't. And but I don't mind. I'll tell somebody exactly how I'm going to race. I told everybody how I was going to race in Warsaw. I was like, I'm not going out with you guys. I'm going to sit at the very back, and I might come. I think I literally said I might come to ski between 10th and 12th, and I think I was 11th. And I said I'll find my way back up there over time. And so like, but that's how I have to race. I can't go out with these guys right now. It puts me physiologically in a place that when I get to the sleds, I just implode. So I'm better off. I'll give them a leash. And the problem is sometimes you give somebody too much of a leash, and you can't bring him back. And he's a very hard guy to bring back, like because he's got a very good start to his race. His middle is not perfect. He's got some vulnerabilities in his middle, but then he closes really hard. And at that point, you're just like, well, damn, he got away from me. I tried to work it back. He gets away again. That's how every single race goes. Um, and so yeah, I'll either have it on the day and he'll just be a touch off and I'll get lucky, or I won't. You don't like to rely on luck, but sometimes you have to.
Would you put Sean up there?
Absolutely. Like we were talking about when we looked at the lineup, and when I say we, I'm talking about even like the guys in Warsaw. We were standing there talking like there's like 8 guys on this list that could win this thing. Like
Yeah,
you
it
can
went
start
from
going.
3 or 4 to 8 pretty quick.
Yeah, it really did. And then like, and I mean, there's a chance that over the next 6 weeks, somebody improves in an area that they had been deficient in, and that right there puts them right into the mix. I don't think anybody had Sebastian Everson coming out and popping like that, and racing the way that he did. Now, for a long time, I thought that he was going to be very good, um, and had talked with him a decent amount, and was like, it's going to happen eventually. Like he had too many of the prerequisite skills when it came to just like underlying, like he's fast, he's strong, he's raced before, like it's going to happen. Um, and so I wasn't terribly surprised that he raced well. I was a little surprised at like how well he was in the mix for the first 6 stations. But then when we got to wall balls, I was like, if I'm on his heels, I got him. Like Sebastian has not put together good wall balls yet.
Well, I'm sure this has not been lost on you that the United States is the only country that can sweep the men's podium. So you may as well go out and do that. You, Hunter, and Rich just may as well go ahead and do that and put the fucking hammer down, USA.
Well, the way that it would go is me and Rich will race similar-ish races. I think in like it, let's say if somehow the US does sweep the podium, the way it goes is Hunter takes out the field fast. And a lot of the I'm just saying Hunter's gonna take out the field fast. A lot of the contenders, Tim, Sean, um, Sebastian won't go with him. Alex will go with him. Luke Greer will be up there. Like they'll all go off the rip with him. And either they're gonna all burn and come back, and me and Rich are gonna clean them up late, or they're going to get away from us and we're not going to sweep the podium. Or Hunter goes out and he's one that burns, and then it ends up that like somehow he ends up off the podium. Any of that could happen, but like we know just about how everybody's race is planned to go. As to whether or not it goes that way, a little different.
So early days, early sleds, everyone was built like Hunter or Kent, basically, right? And you
Yeah.
were this kind of newer, thinner, like, well, he's fast, but can he do the thing? And, you know, the sleds changed a while ago, but it does seem like in the last year, right? And like world records aside, just like what happened that everyone got really good? Like what was the flip of people learning how we went from 3 to 8, right? Because it's weights haven't changed, right?
Mm-hmm. It's so, I mean, if you still look, like, let's look at if we start talking about the eight that could possibly win at Worlds. So you've got Alex. Alex is
I was
always,
including the women too, by the way. This new breed of runner we've seen come in. I was talking about just kind of the whole thing. But if you want to talk about the men first, that's fine.
well, I mean, we could go on the women's side too. I'd have to, I mean, if we look at like, I mean, if you look at Joanna, Joanna's not, I mean, she's not built big. She's built long. Like, she's built long and she moves weight fairly well. I mean, I don't know if the women's race sleds have always played as big a role. It doesn't seem like because like Lauren's pretty small and she's always been able to work the sleds. You know, back when they were heavy, back when and she was always kind of in the mix.
And
I
she's been given a bad lane, it feels like a bunch too.
you don't I don't know. There's something about you don't want lane one. Lane one's
I thought it
nasty.
was lane 2 you didn't want.
I didn't know. Well, in DC, lane one was what we avoided, and I didn't like lane one in either push or pull. Um, but either way, I think that we're getting like everything fresh to race on now, and that actually makes things so much faster. Like especially at the elite level, you're getting fresh carpets and you're getting fresh sleds and you're getting like back before, I don't think we quite had as much bandwidth and money to consistently have new things to race with. And the older things were, the harder it is to move it. And so I think you're seeing people come in now and like if we were having beat up carpets and beat up sleds, like you saw in Houston, how crazy that was, like that race. Um, when it came to lane discrepancies there for having a good race. I just don't think that people are experiencing quite the same levels of like friction and force that they used to have to put out to get through the sleds. And it's allowing folks that are good runners but not that strong to get through things and then be there. I think that I don't know, maybe there's a chance over time that stuff shifts again and it starts to become more strength oriented. And you might see that the people who were there, the more runner builds and stuff like that, start to struggle a little more. That could be the case. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But it definitely has become a much less muscularly demanding sport than what it was when I first experienced it. Because they used to just crush your soul. Um,
Well, it's funny. You guys used to race even like in the middle of the day. Like, remember when the
yeah, we used to race
pros? Like, I think
like
the North
12 to
American
3 o'clock.
Championship. Yeah, I think the North American Championship a few years ago was like that. You guys raced at like noon in like the middle of the, you know.
I like that better than 9 p.m. I'll tell you that much.
Oh boy. I mean, I don't know what to
9
do.
p.m. I think we're looking to get that changed as well.
Yeah, put that on the elite docket. I
We're
mean,
working on that one.
again, they're putting through so many people that unless you do it the night before, you kind of don't have a choice, right? Or you do have that separate grid thing, which I thought we were going to get this year. And
Yeah, I think that with the whole like separate elite grid and all that kind of stuff, I think that they got ahead of their skis with promising that they could do that everywhere, and they rolled it out, and then kind of figured out that like being able to do this logistically is not in the cards yet. Um, I mean, again, like you're still looking at the fact that a lot of the top end of this sport is being supported by all the age group athletes and everything going on in the middle, and being able to like completely designate a space in the day just for elite racing and stuff like that budgetarily, I don't think is quite there. I think it'll get there, but it's not quite there. And so being able to say like, oh, we're gonna have this for the rest of the season, and then you're like, you had it one more time. Um, I think we'll get closer to having it set up for next year, but they just got to out in front of themselves, I believe.
So what is the next? Is it 6 weeks? What does it look like for you?
Um, yeah, so, yeah, I would say. I mean, 6 weeks of
Real
actual
quick,
training.
real quick. I don't know if I've asked you this yet. Are you still traveling for your quote unquote day job or day
No, my
job?
day. I don't have it anymore.
Okay,
I'm
so
full time athlete and coach.
okay, fantastic. Just look how far we've come, Dylan.
I know. I know.
So awesome. Um, yeah. So you signed with Nike. What month was that?
I guess. I mean, it came out in like January, but technically it was like
November,
November-ish.
right? We started hearing.
Yeah.
So and you signed a deal and you've been winning,
Hmm.
which is nice. So that you
Well,
make
I've been seconding. I've been podiuming.
listen. I think nobody like remembers who came in second, right? Like the next year, like who came in, like who lost in the AFC Championship game. But the sport I think is young enough that like podiums matter a lot, right?
Yeah.
Consistency matters a lot. Podiums marry a lot, but like your life will change if you win this thing this year. It will. Like
Hmm.
you will do a lot more stuff for media. You will probably, Bijan will be getting even more calls, right? So like it will change. Forgot where I was going with this. I kept checking the HYROX site to see if we updated the thing. Oh, I was saying, what do the next 6 weeks uh look like? And is it 6 weeks?
Yeah. So it's probably 6 weeks of actual training that like you have time for. It's more like 8 weeks to get to actual race day, but it's like 6 weeks that you have of actual training that you can do anything with. Um, so I mean, first off, I'm heading tomorrow to fly to Minneapolis because I got the Lifetime Games on Saturday.
I was gonna ask if you were doing that. I couldn't remember if you were doing it or not.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna hop in and do those.
You were
Um,
second there to Noah?
yeah, yeah, I lost to Noah
All
last
right,
year.
no Noah, so should be all
No,
you, buddy.
Noah, he's just commentating this year.
Let's go.
He's
Is it you
so
and
yeah.
Jack? Is it you and Jack? We shared the list
No,
yesterday.
no, Jack's not. It's like the elite, like the Heat is like me, Cole Walkington, Alex Smith, and then I can't remember the other guy's name that are in kind of like the last
The
fast
40
heat.
the 49ers QB?
Yes, Alex Smith. Yes,
I
no,
know
Alex.
Jesse Smith of Jesse and Chandler will be there.
Yes,
Uh,
Jesse will be there. Chandler will be in Paris, so he's not
yeah,
coming,
Chandler's
which
doing
makes me sad.
WFP.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, so I'll do that. I enjoyed doing that last time back in November when I did it. It's a really good test for me because it's like it really highlights a lot of things that I'm kind of shitty at. And so it's always good to have to, just grin and bear it through like all the overhead pressing movements and stuff like that. So I'll do that. I was nursing a bit of a hamstring injury out in Warsaw, to race both singles and doubles. I did not drop out of doubles simply because I was like, Steven, I'm not gonna make you sit in Poland for 9 days and then be like, I'm not gonna race. My hamstring hurts. Because like I'm not gonna lie, Matt, my hamstring was hurting. We were at the rower and he's on the rower and he can hear me and I'm sitting there stretching. I'm going, come on, Hammy, give me 20 more minutes. Like I'm just talking to my own butt, just trying to tell it, like, please just hang in there. Because I had like a small strain or whatever going on, and normally racing HYROX races back to back doesn't really help when you have a hamstring strain. So that was a bit of a risky movement there. So I'll dictate some of my training based off how that feels like it's progressing. Um, I wanted to do more top end speed run work, but again, with a hamstring injury, that's not normally your best call. Because that's a really good way to just definitely put it in the bin. Um, but yeah, there's like three things that I really need to work on. It's top end run speed to be able to get out the gate and be just a little bit more connected. It is overall power output when it comes to both like the push and the pull. And there needs to be, honestly, even though I'm good at burpees, I need to just continue to make those something that I can do cleanly and do very, very fast to be able to close the gap that I know is going to happen in the first 20 minutes of the race. So
Who's the best at burpees right now?
I guess on paper, Liam McCrory had the fastest split at the last race. Um, Cole Learn has gotten good at them. I mean, if I'm clicking, I'm one of the best guys at it. So like, but the only person that's gonna be a worlds out of that group is Cole.
Can we quickly talk about doubles? Because I forgot to even mention that.
Yeah, I got just a second to talk about doubles.
All right. So you finished sixth at the last one, and
Yes.
you mentioned you were nursing. So of who beat you, Martin and Xavier,
Mm-hmm.
another Martin, and is it Louis or Lewis?
Louis,
Louis, Gustav and Sebastian, Hitty, and is it Thierry?
Thierry.
Tim and
Yeah.
Alex. Okay.
Yep.
Of those guys, who can you confidently beat the next time around?
I think we should honestly have not lost to anybody but Tim and Alex. Um, like we moved ourselves up to second coming into the lunges and just kind of botched that to be honest. Um, which I'm
Did you
still
drop
just
the bag? What do you mean you botched it? What happened?
no, no, we just botched it. We just botched the execution of how we should have handled that. And we both talked about what went wrong there and how that's not going to happen again. So that's not going to happen again. But yeah, we botched the execution at lunges and gave up the lead that we had finally kind of clawed back and created, and we should not have given up those spots. So I fully believe that if we don't execute like numbskulls for the last 10 minutes of the race, then we can finish and be, we would have lost to Tim and Alex, and that's about it.
All right.
Yeah, so that was on us.
Well, have fun at LT. I
We
will
will.
I will definitely see you in Sweden. I've
Okay.
got my plane tickets booked. I got my hotel booked. I'm staying at a hotel. Like it's not even walking distance. It's like I can throw a rock and hit it. So,
Don't you might get in trouble for that. Don't throw rocks at Strawberry Arena, please.
all right. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too, Matt. Bye.